Welcome back, guys. Today I'll be showing you the fastest way to make 100k in EAFC now. So if you're new around here and you need a team like mine, you are in the right place. Just make sure to subscribe. We're giving away 9 copies of EAFC or FIFA points to 9 lucky winners. All you've got to do is sub, send proof over on Instagram, and that is for the 15k giveaway, and it'll be announced early in November. So make sure to get your entries in. And as usual, guys, if you want some coins in a quicker way, well. So if you guys are sick of losing in FIFA because your team isn't good enough or you're not good enough at the game, then right now you need to head over to skycoach.gg. Not only can they coach you in your weekend league or play your games for you, you can buy any amount of coins you want, and all of the services get 10% off right now with the code PRORECALL. Go check them out below. Make sure to click the link in the description, and let's get into it. So first of all, we're going to have a look over in the Serie A, and there's a couple filters we can look at. Firstly, we've got the Napoli FC filter. Of course, if you set the minimum to 10k, you're going to find the likes of course, Osimhen, you've got Di Lorenzo, then you've also got Carvajal. Now, of course, both of these guys can be put on their own filter, but it's a little bit above the 100k kind of mark that we've been looking at here. So just looking at what you're going to get pricing for these guys, Di Lorenzo seems to be bang on 20k right now. Let's just have a look at the other cards. What have we got? It looks like about 20k seems about right. So let's pop this down to the 21k just to see what we got there. I think 21k seems to be a good point to sell. Obviously EA tax included. 10% is 2.1, so we half that as 1050. So if we go down to, I'd say 19k, we'll miss a snipe, but that is definitely the perfect place to snipe. Of course, all three of the players on here, Carvajal, Di Lorenzo, Osimhen, they're not very far from each other. You're looking at, I think, Carvajal being about 10k above. He might be a little bit more while his inform's out, and then Osimhen's around the 60k mark. So the three of them can all be sniped pretty comfortably. You've just got to spend a little bit of time on them. Obviously, I don't think you can break these ones down by looking at play styles, but we'll just have a look if it's possible. So Osimhen doesn't have one, neither does Carvajal, which is really weird because they probably should. But while we are looking at this league, it's almost impossible not to have a look at the special Argentina Serie A filter. So with this one, you've got Martinez, you've got Dybala, and you've got Milito. Now, what's good about Martinez and Milito right now is they're very similar in cost. They're pretty much bang on that 50k mark. And of course, Dybala is available. He's going to be a little bit more, but with these two a little bit closer, it means it's a good filter. You've got the chance at a really crazy profit with Dybala, or some smaller ones over with Martinez and Milito. So if we pop this at 45k, you're looking at making about, I think off the top of my head, about a 2.5k profit if you can snag them and sell them for 50. They might go for just below 50, so you'll be looking at a slightly lower profit. Of course, actually at this mark, we could kind of go for 46 and you're making about 1.5, or you'll vary between selling at about 49 to 50, so your profit will vary between about 1.5 and 1k. So definitely really good either way. You're looking at quite a nice profit, and of course a good chance that people are going to get Milito, be annoyed they've got one of the worst heroes, and sell it a little bit under. I feel like that's always how most people will think if they grab that card. Oh boys, we've only gone and missed a 44. That would have been a lovely snipe, pretty much exactly what profit we were looking after. It's because I was sniping at the 60, I think 46, 750. I wasn't certain about the snipe. That one as well would have been lovely. Can we get the third one that comes up? I feel like we've just had 2 unlucky misses. We're going to give it a 10 count just in case. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and it's a bust. But guys, you can also on this filter around a similar value just go special, Serie A, and forward. You want to ping that special over to base hero, and you've actually got a couple cheaper cards. So obviously Di Natale not included, but you've got Viali, who's nearer the 100k mark. You've got Milito as well, and hopefully Brolin should come down at some stage to make that filter a little bit more lucrative. Now if we go over to La Liga Santander and Barcelona, they've actually got 2 specials now, or even more than that, I think, because there's Lewa, there's Cancelo, and I want to say there's more than that. Let's have a look. I think there's a third. I want to say there's a third, but I might be wrong in that. So you've got Cancelo, Lewa's normal card, and then we've also got Lewa's UCL. So returning back to this filter, I think we've looked at it before. It's a little bit better now. You've got a chance that someone blunders a listing on that Lewa UCL card. I think it's possible. You've seen like worse things. I think the best snipe I've ever seen must have been like a few years ago on like a really crazy Lewa card. It was like 700k, and someone, I think, bidded it maybe to 500 or something like that. That was like a crazy snipe on a live stream. So let's hope we can replicate that, get a mad lower snipe. You're probably looking at wanting to get him for about 115k. I'd say that's probably the mark you really want to be going for, bearing on where he is on the market right now. Now, of course, I know that pushes up obviously over the boundaries of the 100k, so we obviously want to go a little bit lower for those of you who do not have 100k and you're here from this video to make it. So we're going to have a look at the league that I suppose should have a ton of good players this year, and by popping on Playstyle Plus, we can see the likes of Ronaldo, you got Benzema, you got Maximin, you got Mahrez there as well, and you've got Kante. And is there anyone else who fits this build? That's a pretty insane little set. Obviously, if you want to, you can just section it off at Maximin, Benzema, and Kante, which I think is quite a nice little way to do it. But obviously, you can choose how you want to section off this filter. Obviously, as a baseline, we're looking at around the 5k mark with Maximin. So he is the cheapest option. And then we've obviously got, I think Mahrez comes in as the next cheapest there. Let's have a look. 4.3k, which isn't actually too bad at all, I don't think, especially being that there's a lot of other leagues where you really can't make a profit. That is gutting. You can see there is a ton available. We've just got to be there to snag those cards early. So if we go for about a 4.3 mark, you're looking, well, maybe a little bit lower. So is it dead on 4 where he drops off? Okay, so 4.1, 4.2 for the sell-on. EA tax is going to be 210 coins. So if we go here, it's 180 coins profit. Not too bad if we get one, but it looks like my Wi-Fi is beginning to break down again. Big shout out to Sky for being the worst internet provider there is. Gotta say it, absolutely abysmal. Never bloody works. Bad Wi-Fi. We're just going to go for a little bit of a compare price run. Usually it's a little bit easier, as you can see. It is just going to be faster on the menus, and that one there may have been a snipe. We may have just messed that up. What we got? 3.8. That's an L. That is an L. Is the market going to load properly? No. Is it going to be slow still? Brilliant. Now, another one looking at lower end special cards. If we have a look at special in Spain, you got the likes of Pedro, you've got Ronaldo, you should have as well. There is another player in the mix. There's a midfielder from La Liga. So if we pop it over, Saul, there he is. If you go over to Gold Team of the Week, you section it off a little bit more. I think Pedro does bring the price of a general filter down, where these two boys are quite close to each other at that 40k mark, which is good. Gives you a little bit of a better position to do some sniping. So 40k for a sell-on. EA tax can be about 2k. You realistically want to pick it up for about at least 37 as the kind of highest. Obviously, I'd say the best to go for would be 36, but we're sniping a little bit later. There's a chance that we don't get as many cards coming up, so we want to just maximize our profit. If a couple of them are okay rather than 2k, that's okay. There should be a few coming up though. You've got two less desirable informs, but they both have a value. You know, Ronaldo is a higher rating, and Sal, in theory, I suppose, might be all right in some teams. So they're both currently holding a decent value. The Team of the Week SBCs Team of the Week packs from Champs are gone now from what I can see. So that's not going to affect the market as much. Informs will hold a little bit more weight. And just a bit of an honourable mention of one we've had a look at a little bit recently. If you go to La Liga and you go centre mid and gold rare, you've just got a nice little selection of, I think you've got Cruz, you've got Gundogan, you've got Parejo, and you've got Modric as well. So you have a nice selection. If you pop on play styles, you do just look at some really decent players there. So as you can see, Modric, Cruz, Parejo, I think you've got a couple others in here as well. So it's just a nice little selection of 86 and 87 rated players. So get your coins out, get sniping, and hopefully subscribe as well. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.